The Abhidhammatha Sangaha contains 9 chapters. It opens by enumerating the 4 ultimate realities: consciousness, mental factors, matter, and nibbana. The detailed analysis of these is the project set for its first 6 chapters. Chapter 1 is the Compendium of Consciousness, which defines and classifies the 89 and 121 chittas or types of consciousness. In scope, this first chapter covers the same territory as the states of consciousness chapter of the Dhamma Sangaha, but it differs in approach. The canonical work begins with an analysis of the first triad in the Matika, and therefore initially classifies consciousness on the basis of the 3 ethical qualities of wholesome, unwholesome, and indeterminate. Then, within those categories, it subdivides consciousness on the basis of plane into the categories of sense sphere, fine material sphere, immaterial sphere, and supramundane. The Sangaha, on the other hand, not being bound to the Matika, first divides consciousness on the basis of plane, and then subdivides it on the basis of ethical quality. The second chapter, the Compendium of Mental Factors, first enumerates the 52 chetasikas or concomitants of consciousness, divided into 4 classes: universals, occasionals, unwholesome factors, and beautiful factors. Thereafter, the factors are investigated by 2 complementary methods. First, the method of association, Sampayoganaya, which takes the mental factors as the unit of inquiry and elicits the types of consciousness with which they are individually associated. And second, the method of inclusion or combination, Sangahanaya, which takes the types of consciousness as the unit of inquiry and elicits the mental factors that enter into constitution of each. This chapter again draws principally upon the first chapter of the Dhamma Sangaha. The third chapter, entitled Compendium of the Miscellaneous, classifies the types of consciousness along with their factors with respect to 6 categories: root or hetu, feeling or vedana, function or kiccha, door or dvara, object or arammana, and base or vattu. The first 3 chapters are concerned principally with the structure of consciousness, both internally and in relation to external variables. In contrast, the next 2 chapters deal with the dynamics of consciousness, that is, with its modes of occurrence. According to Abhidhamma, consciousness occurs in 2 distinct but intertwining modes, as active process and as a passive flow. Chapter 4 explores the nature of the cognitive process. Chapter 5, the passive process freed flow, which it prefaces with a survey of the traditional Buddhist cosmology. The exposition here is largely based upon the Abhidhamma commentaries. Chapter 6, Compendium of Matter, turns from the mental realm to the material world, based primarily on the second chapter of the Dhamma Sangaha. It enumerates the types of material phenomena, which classifies them in various ways and explains their modes of origination. It also introduces the commentarial notion of material groups, which it treats in detail and describes the occurrence of material processes in the different realms of existence. This chapter concludes with a short section on the fourth ultimate reality, Nibbana, the only unconditioned element in the system. With the sixth chapter, Acharya Anuruddha has completed his analytical exposition of the four ultimate realities, but there remain several important subjects which must be explained to give a complete picture of the Abhidhamma. These are taken up in the last three chapters. Chapter 7, the Compendium of Categories, arranges the ultimate realities into a variety of categorical schemes that fall under four broad headings. A compendium of defilements, a compendium of mixed categories which include items of different ethical qualities, a compendium of the requisites of enlightenment, and the compendium of the whole, an all-inclusive survey of the Abhidhamma anatology. This chapter leans heavily upon the Vibhanga and to some extent on the Dhammasangani. Chapter 8, the Compendium of Conditionality, is introduced to include the Abhidhamma, including on the interrelatedness of the physical and mental phenomena, thereby complementing the analytical treatment of the ultimate realities with a synthetical treatment laying bare their functional corrections. The exposition summarily presents two alternative approaches to conditionality found in the Pali canon. One is the method of dependent arising, prominent in the sutras and analyzed from both Suttanta and Abhidhamma angles with the Vibhanga, sixth Vibhanga. This method examines conditionality in terms of the cause and result patterns that maintains bondage to samsara, the cycle of birth and death. The other, the method of the Patthana, with its 24 conditional relations. This chapter concludes with a brief account of concepts, Paññatti, thereby drawing in the Puggala Pannati, at least by implication. The ninth and final chapter of the Sangaha is concerned not with theory but with practice. This is the compendium of meditation subjects. This chapter functions as a kind of summary of the Visuddhimagga. It concisely surveys all the methods of meditation exhaustively explained in the latter work, and it sets forth condensed accounts of the stages of progress in both systems of meditation, concentration, and insight. Like the masterwork of summaries, like the masterwork it summarizes, it concludes with an account of the four types of enlightened individuals and the attainments of fruition and cessation. The arrangement of the Abhidhammatha Sangaha perhaps serves to underscore the ultimate seriological intent of the Abhidhamma. All the theoretical analysis of mind and matter finally converges upon the practice of meditation, and the practice culminates in the alignment of the supreme goal of Buddhism, the liberation of the mind by non-clinging.